Record on the cloud. Hey Jim, how are you, bro?
Hey, good morning. Thanks for letting me jump on.
Absolutely. Okay, let's get started like we always do. Just a reminder, I'm going to bring value. I'm going to do my best. I think you guys are going to enjoy this, and I just ask that you participate. This is way better when everyone participates, and we have an awesome group today. So I know we're going to have participants, and I'm going to be calling on some of you because I know Sean's dealt with this. I know Jeremy's dealt with. All of us have dealt with this topic, and as we get started, I first want to hear some wins. If anyone has a gratitude or a victory or something they'd like to share, let's start off with that.
Man, I
I'll
got something
share.
too.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
we all do.
sweet. Tosh and then Laurie. That's perfect.
I had two successful hires this week that I feel really good about.
That's
Yep,
awesome.
not agents. Oh, we did onboard an agent, but a
Cool.
social media manager, client care manager, and she's crushing it out of the gate. And a transaction coordinator that's actually a real agent, knows the system. So feeling good about those.
Oh, that's awesome.
I
Yeah,
Heck
love
yeah.
that.
I love it.
Congrats.
Congratulations. Yeah,
thank
Laurie.
you.
I'll share mine. Mine's just a personal, just gratitude that was really cool. For those of you that know the story with my older kids, this Mother's Day, I was just planning on taking my 8-year-old to the zoo, and my 27-year-old and 21-year-old showed up to go to the zoo with me as well on Mother's Day. So that was just a really big deal that
I
my
love it.
adult kids
That's
wanted to
awesome.
That's
wanted to
ridiculously
come. So it
cool.
was just super special.
Yeah, that's ridiculously cool. I love it.
Yeah.
I
Heck
have something.
yeah. Who else has a win?
I do.
Karen does.
I do. I love that, Lori. That makes me so happy. I love that kind of stuff. So my for Mother's Day, I was talking to my kids. They're all out of state, and my son announces that they're pregnant with baby number two. So that'll be four
Wow.
Wow.
grandbabies. So I'm stoked.
Wow, that's
Congratulations.
incredible. That is
Yeah,
that's such a big thing.
it
Holy
is a big
cow.
thing. It's just crazy. Life
Love
goes
it.
by fast. So enjoy your kids. Enjoy your
Yes,
kids.
definitely.
Yes.
Awesome. Anybody else have a win?
I got a gratitude.
Sweet.
So my oldest just finished his last day of high school and he's
Mhm.
graduating on Monday. And it's like tripping me out that he's that old, but I'm super proud of him. It's way cool. Like that, I'm super excited he's starting that next chapter in his life. So it's pretty fun around our house right now.
I got to say something to that. He stopped by our house and dropped off his graduation card, and me and Natalie almost got emotional because we're like, "What? This is real life?" Like, I mean, I remember when you were just a little guy,
Little.
and now you're graduating. It changed. I actually had the realization the other night when I was doing breath work that my son's, I don't want to cry, but my son's childhood is over. My 14-year-old, because now when I call him, he's like, "Hey, Dad," and he's just, and even in the last month, he's grown like an inch, and you can just all the changes are happening, and that little boy that I used to pick up and wrestle with and hug and cuddle with is gone, but it's cool to see him turning into a young man, and I'm sure it's a trip for your son to graduate, man. I can't, yeah, yeah. Anyways, I won't talk about it more. I'll get emotional. So awesome. That's great, man. I love it. Anybody else have anything they want to share? I'm just letting people in. By the way, don't feel bad. Like if you guys need to interrupt me because someone's trying to get in or something, just interrupt me. Is that cool? So, can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay, great. Anybody else have anything they want to share before in fact, I'm going to change this. There we go. Now I can see
I
everyone's.
do have a real estate win I want to share real
Yeah,
quick.
do it.
So it's kind of cool. This last week, and I know this has happened a few times to me in the last little bit. I've been pretty active on Facebook, and I've been tagged in a couple of different of those posts, like everyone else, right? Well, I messaged this lady, and I didn't sell myself. I just kind of told her, "Hey, here's some questions to ask when you're interviewing an agent." and I gave her like 5 or 6 different questions. And she messaged me back and said, "Hey, that resonated with us extremely well. We would love to meet with you." And so I have a listing appointment on Tuesday with her. They got a lot to sell and they want to buy a house.
Congratulations. Wow.
So all because I didn't really sell myself, I just was giving her information that she asked because she just said, "Hey, what should I what's some good things to ask or something like that."
Well, it's almost like you did what Tosh taught you to do, right? Make it about
Yeah.
them, not you, right?
Exactly. No, I
Add value.
100% did. Yep,
Yeah.
100%. I didn't realize I did that till you just said that, but no, that is 100% true. So Tosh, thank you because you taught me that for sure.
Awesome.
So I just, I've been really trying to work on that a lot. And I think I did it self-consciously, not realizing I did it, and just did it. So
I love it, man. That's
Good. Yeah.
awesome.
Good job.
Don't even know yet, dude. I bet you Jim has a win. Jim, I'm going to call you out. Do you have any wins for us?
I was thinking about it as everyone's been talking, and last night, it's really weird. It's really strange. Last night, I was actually out in my yard fixing a sprinkler head. And of course, I had my headphones in, I had my phone with me and everything. And I get this call, and this was like 7:30, 7:45 last night. And I was like, "God, I don't recognize it. Should I grab it?" And I grabbed it, and it was this young kid. I don't know, young when I say he's like 25. I got to know him. His name's Noah. And he just called and said, "Hey, Jim, I know I heard you do FHA mortgages." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah, I do FHA mortgages." And so I just, we started talking and had a good conversation. And at the at the end of the conversation, I said, "Well, hey, how did you hear about me?" And he said, "I got your name and number off of, this is really interesting, off of Chat GPT."
Yeah.
And
wow.
it's so weird, I do a lot of stuff in chat. I do a lot of marketing and content, and it helps me with my like, it's like an assistant for me right now, Anyways,
Hmm.
so anyways, I just thought I'd share that. It was kind of a weird win, but it was a win nonetheless, that all of a sudden I'm getting a phone call off of ChatGPT. It was really interesting. So,
That's a great win. In fact, on our Captivate series we do on Thursdays, Mike Anderson teaches us how to train Chat GPT, like how to write all of our vlogs and everything we do to have Chat GPT recommend us as the local expert. And that is a big deal because if you just ask it to write your bio in a way that it will recommend you when people ask, you'll get more exposure online.
yeah, love it.
That's super cool. I love that's
Yeah,
a great win.
yeah, it was cool.
Hey, Lewis.
Yes.
I don't know if you guys know too, but also now ChatGPT is now allowing sponsored ads.
Oh, okay.
I can drop the link in it to their where you
Yeah,
can actually do advertisement. I'll throw it in the chat.
that's great. Yeah, do it. That'd be good.
Interesting.
Well,
Very interesting.
well, if anyone else want to share before we get started? Cool. We'll get started. And for those that are new, we got a few new people because I threw it out online. I see that Eric's here, and it looks like Jessica may have been here before, but forgive me, there's a bunch of people I'm looking at. So for the new people, I want to remind you what this is. This is a mastermind where we're a group of real estate professionals that help each other grow and thrive. And we do 3 trainings a month. The first one typically is on mindset. But this month we had a cool speaker teaching us about financial freedom that could show us last week. So we switched it, and I'm doing mindset today. The reason why we do mindset is we feel like it's pointless to teach you strategy if you have a poor mindset. Everything starts with mindset. Then we teach strategies from the top agents in our area and other areas to help you grow your business. Then the third training of the month, we actually go over a Q&A we call hot seats, where you guys tell us what you're struggling with and we help you get better. And we all collectively help each other get better. As everyone in this group knows that have been here before, this is super participant heavy. So it's more of a conversation. I'm going to tell a story about something that's changed my life lately that's really helped me. And we're going to get into the science behind it. And I'm going to need you guys to participate. So put a 1 in the chat if you're ready to participate. Sweet. Okay. So I want to ask a question. In the last 30 days, how many of you talked yourself out of something? meaning you didn't make a call, you didn't reach out to the person, you didn't take the risk because in your head, you told yourself all the negative stuff. Put a me in the, yep. So it's not just me. Well, we're going to talk about that today and understand exactly why it's there and how to stop it because it messes up your life. And a few weeks ago, I listened to a podcast. I sent this podcast, I think, to Sean, to Laurie, to a few people, and it's changed my life. It was just a simple 16 or 20-minute podcast, right, guys?
Yeah.
And you guys listened to it, right?
Yep.
That training is going to be, that's what we're going to talk about today and how it affected my life. And basically it was, who's familiar with Rob Dial, mental, I can't even remember his name. The Rob Dial is his name. Anyone listen to him?
Just the thing
He's,
you sent me.
yeah,
The
he's super
mindset
good.
mentor is his.
I've actually been
thing.
listening to him quite a bit lately too. Every day,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. Well, this was he'll do a training like 5 days a week and it's like 20 minutes long. Well, this one just changed my life for some reason. And the name of it was Act as if everything's going to work out. And the whole conversation was talking about how has anyone had anything rough in their life happen? Raise your hand if you've had something rough and terrible. When you looked back later on, did it serve you in any way?
Yes.
We all know that, right? We've done a bunch of trainings on this about how your problems serve you. So why are we always acting from like a mindset of things are going to go wrong when we know ultimately everything ends up serving us? Everything always works out for me. My life is good always. And I just started waking up every morning and saying, you know what? Everything works out for me. I don't care what happens today. I'm going to work hard. I'm going to go after things. I'm going to take risks. I'm going to talk to people. And if they reject me, I don't care because everything works out for me. The people that are supposed to work with me, the deal that Sean's going to land with his listing appointment, either they're going to work with him and it's going to work out for him, or they're not going to work with him and it's going to work out for him. And I don't know if you guys know this, but I think I've told you before, I don't wake up just positive and happy. I wake up kind of anxious, depression, stuff like that, and I have to change my mindset. Before I get out of bed, I actually tell myself, everything works out for me. Everything works out. So what's happened in the last few weeks is I've been able to speak on stage in front of the top 165 agents in the company. Not all of them showed up, but I got that opportunity. I've attracted 60 people now to my network at One Real Mortgage. I've attracted another brokerage to Real Broker. And it's because I've got 15 listings. And not all of that is because of this change, but a lot of it is because I've reached out to people when I wouldn't have before. So I hope, does that make sense? Is that resonating with any of you guys? So on a scale of 1 to 10, how often does fear of a bad outcome stop you from taking action? Put it in the chat. How often on a scale of 1 to 10?
10 being the highest.
Yeah,
Like
10 being the
you're
highest. Yeah,
like the
it
most.
affects you a lot. Jeremy 10, Tosh 6, Ashton 8, Karen 3, Emily 8. See, it's super normal, right? Fear and Karen's been through a lot and she wrote a book and trains on this, how she's got over fear and how she's went through some rough stuff. And that probably, Karen, correct me if I'm wrong, but the stuff you went through helped you get over your fear, right?
Oh, totally. Yeah. And
Yeah.
sometimes I think I get in my own way. The mind starts overtaking.
Yep.
And that's where I have to step back and go, okay, what the freak is happening right here?
I love that you just said that. Your mind is taking over. That's what we're going to talk about. We're actually going to talk about brain science today. And you can write this down if you want, or just listen. You are not your fear. Your brain is just doing its job. You are not your fear. Your brain is doing its job. Your fear is not a character flaw. Your brain is not broken. Your brain is doing exactly what it's designed to do, which is keep you alive. Okay? Our brains are actually not designed to make us successful. They're designed to keep us safe. Period. That's it. That's its whole job. I call it the saber-toothed tiger problem. Like thousands of years ago, the humans who survived were the ones who heard the rustle in the bushes and ran every time, even if it was just the wind. And the people were like, it's probably nothing, got eaten. So we learned for years and years and years to be play it safe, not to take risks, right? Just to play it safe. And the problem is your brain can't tell the difference between a saber-tooth tiger or being scared to make a cold call. Has anyone ever had to speak in front of everyone and got nervous as crap?
Mm-hmm.
Started shaking. I've almost thrown up. Like when I spoke in front of those agents in Florida, the night before, I was 3:30 in the morning and I had to get up at 6 and my heart rate was at like 105.
Check back with me in a week.
Yeah. Yeah. Because Tosh, you're going to speak at a big event, right?
Yeah.
Is it
Yeah.
already affecting your nervous system?
I'm trying not to think about it.
Yeah. Well, I'll give you my advice of what I did in that situation at 3:30 in the morning. I finally got my head out of it and said, this isn't about me. I was so worried. My brain was telling me, what if I sound stupid? What if I forget what I'm going to say? What if they argue with me? These are the top agents. What if they tell me I'm stupid? What if they reject me? And then I was like, doesn't even matter. I'm going to go there tomorrow and I'm just going to be curious. I'm going to help the people answer their questions. It doesn't matter if I attract anyone, and I'm not going to make it about me. If I can help one person there, it was worth it. Then I finally calm down. I wear this Whoop thing. My heart rate goes down to like the 70s and I go to sleep, right? So the crazy thing is your brain can't tell the difference. So your nervous system just fires this response of fight, flight, or freeze, even for a stupid phone call, right? So staying in your comfort zone and avoiding the risky, I don't know, call or getting up on stage or whatever, your brain's doing its job to just, it literally thinks it's saving your life when it's telling you to not do it, to stay in your comfort zone. Does that make sense? So it's not designed for success in relationships, in business, or us to be ambitious, basically. It's designed to live in a world that no longer exists. And we have to consciously override that default. Consciously. This isn't just like toxic positivity where we just sit in a room and hum and be like, life is going to be great. No, it's literally reprogramming your brain to think differently. So if it can't tell the difference between the tiger, like I said, or a phone call, um, basically what it's doing is spiking your cortisol and it's giving you that urge to retreat and your brain says danger. So have you ever thought of this? Sean, I know I've told you this before. Sometimes when I do really well in a year, I have fear that I'm not going to do as good the next year.
Yeah, we've
Anyone
had
ever feel
pretty
like
in-depth conversations about that.
yeah, you'll look stupid, right? You're like, well, I crushed it last year, but this year I'm not on par. What's going on? And your brain starts going, okay, quit pushing, Sean. Get back to safe comfort zone.
Well, I went through that,
Yeah.
you
Do
know.
you mind sharing a little bit about
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. So a couple years ago, I had a killer year. And then the next year, I had one of the worst years I've ever had. And I was contemplating if I even wanted to be in real estate anymore. It was just a really, really rough year. And it was getting towards the end of the year. And I'll be honest, I was super negative. I was just in my own head. I didn't really want to be around people that much and just, it was just a bad time. And something just clicked in me. And I just had a complete mind shift change
The
one
year
day.
of Sean.
I said, you know what? Screw this. This is not how I am. And I made a motto for myself, and it was the year of Sean.
Yep.
And so that was like in December. And I started telling myself that the year of Sean is 2025
At your lowest. I
at
just
my
got chills
lowest
when
point.
you said that.
Yep,
Yep.
at my lowest point. And I made just a huge shift. And I I remember I called you and I said, "Hey, I'm going to teach Buffini again." And you're all, "What?" Like, because
I
I
got to
was,
be honest. I'm like, you haven't closed a
yeah,
deal in months and you're going to get up and teach
yeah,
in front of people how to close deals. And he's like,
yeah,
yeah, I'm going to do it. I'm like, you got balls, man. Pardon my language. I'm like,
yeah,
that is
yeah.
amazing. I wouldn't do that. And he did it.
So I did it, and that also helped push me to be just better. And I was like, I think it was kind of a combination of um, having other people rely on me, that like, hey, I'm teaching this, I better be doing it type of a thing. And so I just started doing my normal stuff again, and I started making phone calls and started just getting back to my basics to how I do my business. And in 25, I had another great year. And then it's just spurred, and this year I've already been kicking ass again. And I'm just, and I've been telling myself again, hey, it's a continuation of the year of Sean. It's
That's
just,
right.
just it's year of Sean 2.0, and it's
I was
just
gonna say it's the
continuing.
life of Sean now.
Yep.
Yeah,
And so that, like, it was, I had to make that choice too. I think that's the biggest thing I took
oh,
out of that is it wasn't just, like, because it was a really, it's hard to put it into words, but once I actually made that commitment, and it was weird, just one morning I woke up and I was like, F this, like, I'm
yep,
tired of being this way. Like, that's not who I am. And I just made a whole mind shift. And that's when that thought popped in, the year of Sean. And I just took it and ran with it. And, don't get me wrong. Like, I've had bad days just like everyone, and the year wasn't perfect by any means, but it was 10 times better than the year before. And I'm
absolutely.
taking a look at that and like looking at all the positives, and I'm rolling with the positives. And I feel I'm back to my normal, happy, positive self.
I would say even better. You're at a better state. You learn from that, and I watched. I got the honor to watch it, and it was so cool. And he did a pattern disrupt. We're going to talk about that. He did exactly what we're going to talk about next. And I want to say thank you for that story. That's awesome, Sean. But I want you guys to write down, what is your saber-tooth tiger in your business right now? Like, what's the one thing your brain keeps treating like mortal danger, and you just don't want to do it? And type it in the chat. If you dare, type it in the chat. I'm curious to see what you're nervous about. And then as you're doing that, we'll jump into our next thing here in just a second. I'll give you a second to write it down as people look for the chat. Rejection. I'm a new agent. I don't have the experience for people to trust me. Yep. Prospecting. Being perceived as a poser and not knowing what I'm doing. I got a surprise for you, Megan. A lot of us don't know what we're doing. I still don't know what I'm doing in a lot of ways, and I love this because I've literally had every one of these, getting rejected by people for my looks. Okay. Yeah, me too. This is awesome. I love this. Fake it until you make it, right? So we're going to talk about this. Thank you guys for sharing that because I resonate with those, and I'm sure everyone else resonates. Here's the crazy thing I learned. Um, the brain has a 5x bias and it's rigged against you, meaning your brain is 5 times more sensitive to negative outcomes than it is positive. So when that happens, literally bad outcomes show up way more than good outcomes because your brain looks for them. So a loss, I don't know if you guys have had this, but a loss hits 5 times harder. So you could be having a great day and have a bunch of wins, and one loss negates the whole thing. Is that right? It happens all the time, right? So this is why our brain's default story is always worst case scenario. Because when you imagine reaching out to like a big person or prospecting, or you don't want to be rejected, what does your brain say? It's like, you're not good enough. Rejection. I can't do this. They're going to call you out. You're faking it, right? And the crazy thing is, your reticular activating system filters reality based on what you expect. So if you expect rejection, your brain finds evidence of rejection everywhere. Just the way they kind of turn their head, they check their phone, and you're like, oh, see, they don't care what I'm saying. And it changes your energy. And now you start doubting yourself, and you start presenting differently, and you make them feel uncomfortable. You see how that change in your mindset affects how you look, how you act, how you respond? I've been in conversations with people where someone's super offended. I'm like, what the freak are you offended about? Like, oh, this person was acting this way. I'm like, they were not even, they're dealing with their kid who's stressed out, right? And like, it has nothing to do with you. But for some reason, we all internalize that everyone else's action is directly a reflection of us. And so if Sean's having a bad day, oh, it's because Sean thinks I'm a jerk. It's because Sean doesn't like me. Maybe he's just having a bad day, right? Like, that's really what happens. Okay. So the crazy thing is, if you imagine that people are going to say yes and that everyone serves you, and even if you get rejected, it's going to better you, your brain will start finding everything to prioritize that. And it'll start giving you the proof that you're just too blind to see right now, right? So your reticular activating system is so powerful, and we've talked about it forever, but it's crazy because you'll start spotting like the opposite of what I just said. Maybe if someone's a little willing, or the open door, or the opportunity. And as you take those opportunities, you're like, oh my gosh, it worked out. I can't believe this is working out. And then you start building momentum like Sean has over the last couple of years, right? Raise your hand if that's resonating with you. So, the crazy thing is we have to intentionally, repeatedly train our brain, because that 5x, how it's always looking at 5 times things more negative, we have to be conscious about retraining our brain. It'll never do it on its own. The default your brain is always going to have is threat detection. And if you don't change it, it'll stay that way. If you change it, the upgrade is possibility. It'll start looking for possibility rather than threat, right? So it's like I said, this isn't positive thinking stuff. This is manually overriding your survival system that was never designed for the opportunities we have right now, right? So I want you to start asking yourself, what if it actually works out? And the difference is then let your brain run that scenario. Like, okay, what if I reach out to this person and they say yes? And then they join my network, or I list their $2 million house. What does success actually look like? What does it feel like? Will that change the way I look at myself? Will that help me get another listing? Does that help me grow my business? And as you sit and think about it, of all the positives, you're training your brain to search for those outcomes and those positives. So this is where people say, have you guys heard people say it's important to like visualize and do affirmations? It's not because that will magically just bring things to you. It's because it changes your world, because it changes your lens, the glasses you're wearing as how you look at the world. So think about that bold action. Okay, think about the thing I asked you before. What's the one thing you're worried about? Everything you guys said. I want you to think about right now, what's one bold action you could take this week to overcome that fear? Just think about it for a second and put it in the chat. What's a bold action you could take to get over your fear? Let's see if anyone puts anything in the chat. Remembering to fly. Actually make the call. Don't just think about it. I love that, Sean. We're going to talk about it. Focus on my social media. Actually make posts. I know that Jeremy was stressed out and didn't want to do posts on social media. And he's just been, Jeremy, do you mind unmuting? I got a question for you.
Go ahead.
What made you finally decide that you were just going to start posting on social media? Because you were scared of it for a long time, right?
For me, believe it or not, it was, those that don't know me on the other side is, I'm a firefighter and I put myself in situations all the time and I have that confidence. So why am I not doing it now? Why am I not using those skills and those attributes to put myself out there and just believing in myself? So I kind of just had that mindset change of I already have these skills. I just need to have the confidence and like you're saying, believing in it and changing the way I think.
That's perfect. And then was your post perfect? Were every one of your posts just perfect?
Oh no. Yeah, those of you that have seen it, no, they're not. But at the
You make
same,
mistakes, right?
oh yeah, but I find that they're funny, and I still have that rejection feeling, but I find ways to enjoy it. Like when my little girl just recently told me I had a fat forehead, you know.
Yeah, that was one of your best videos, man.
Yeah, yeah, and that wasn't even going to be a social post. It was just, it just happened, and instead of looking at it as, oh, that was, horrible, I took it as an opportunity just to share who I am and what I do and bringing my kids along the process.
And who do you think someone will pick as their realtor? Someone who's always perfectly prim and proper and presenting the perfect package, or Jeremy getting made fun of about his forehead with his daughter and laughs about it, and you see who he really is? they're going to go to Jeremy because they resonate with it. They're going to laugh. They're going to remember it. We're all talking about it now. If you posted a perfect post 3 days ago, none of us would care, right? So the mistakes serve you. It really does. So that's where I've changed my mindset of, oh my gosh, well, so what? And when bad stuff happens now, I'm like, well, everything works out for me in the end. It's going to serve me somehow. And I immediately pattern disrupt because my pattern is negative, and it's like, nope, I'm going to make it positive, and it's going to work out for me. And then I move on to the next thing because so many of us dwell in the negative when we have a failure that we just sit and, oh my gosh, I'm not going to make the next call. My next listing's going to suck. That's what was happening to Sean. He had a couple negative things and it just grew. Then it was like all he could see was negative, and he doesn't mind me sharing this because he told me this. Like all he saw was negative, 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 and pretty soon that's your whole world. And when you finally snap out of it and disrupt that pattern and you start looking for paths positive, it's amazing how the same world that was all negative changes to positive. It's
Can I add
incredible.
something to that?
Yeah, sure.
So, on that same aspect is when I was in my little negative self, I noticed I started hanging around more negative people too.
Mhm.
And the positive people that I had already surrounded myself with, I kind of pushed them away. And it was just like I said, it was just weird. And so now what I've been doing, my little slogan here, Sean, I tell myself that every single day. And when something really good happens, it's the year of Sean. It's because it's the year of Sean. And what's cool, my family reminds me of that all the time
Yep.
because they're on board with it.
Yep, because they've seen the difference in you, and proximity is power. I
Yeah.
literally, in my life, I hang out with less and less negative people for sure. I want what's best for them. It doesn't mean I'm not going to be friends with them and say hi and be cordial. But when their language is always negative and down, I can't let that affect me. So I've got to be around people who lift me up. So that's what's hard is you literally create your own world because as you're being negative, you attract those kind of people around you, and then you just prove to yourself everything's true. The government's terrible, this world's terrible, real estate sucks, everything sucks. But when you're around all the right people, it's a completely different world. There's just opportunity everywhere, which that's why I love this community.
Yep.
So
And
talking about,
I was going to ask or tell
yeah,
Jeremy, like I love that you're posting the imperfect videos because I'm kind of the same. I feel like my best videos and stuff, I get more traction when I am imperfect and I'm stumbling over my words or I mess up, and it's just because people relate to that. We all follow people on social media, and you can tell the ones that like they did 50 takes on that one video because it is perfect. And it's kind of boring.
yep.
Honestly, if you think
Oh
about it,
yeah.
it's
Go ahead,
boring.
Karen. Yeah.
Well, I want to, so I work with my assistant, we video for the month. And I tell you what, all the bloopers, I'm like, you know what? Let's post all the bloopers. So we had like Friday fun day with Karen. And it was like, ah, shit. Ah, shit. Okay, redo it. Like it was like, just, I mean, and that's my ah, shit. That's just when I'm like, ah, shit. I just screwed up again. Okay. So, but I think like that's really who I am. And
Yes.
even in my videos, so I'm like, and Jeremy is like, I screw up all the time. I mispronounce words, but it's like, I want to be one and done. Just get it over with. Let's do this. And however it comes out is better.
Yes. I've had so many
So,
people say that they like my content because it's just authentic. It's just me rattling, just going, saying what I say.
yeah.
And put a one in the chat if you think you're sick of everyone being perfect online and you're not the perfect person. Everyone else is perfect. They have the perfect life, everything's great, everything works out for them. But me, my life sucks sometimes. Gosh, I just, my kid just, if Darby was on here, my kid just crapped on the floor. You know what I mean? Like that's what you're dealing with while somebody else has got the perfect pose with an edited photo. So you can clearly see everyone resonates with that. That is what you want to resonate with other people. So it's okay to be yourself. It's okay when I taught people how to interview, I was lucky enough to get, well, I say lucky enough, prepared enough to get the top interview spot out of 750 people when I was applying for Unified Fire. And it was because I was okay with mistakes and I was okay with asking them questions. Was that the answer you were looking for? Can I reiterate, or do you want me to expand on that? No, go ahead. And I would be like, I honestly don't have an answer for that. Can you let me think about that for a minute? We can go on to the next one. Sure, we go on to the next one. Oh, you know what? I thought of an answer for that last one. Here you go. And I was so interactive with them that they felt so comfortable with me and my reasoning skills that they wanted to work with me. I wasn't just like, oh, I got to say what's perfect. Oh, I got to say what's perfect. And I do that with my clients all the time when I'm talking like a listing appointment or whatever. You guys have heard my listing presentation. I welcome their critiques. I welcome their questions. We just sit and talk about it like real people. I'm fine if they don't want to work with me. That changes your whole energy. Like prospecting, someone mentioned prospecting. I think that was you, Jim. Every time you hesitate before that call, your amygdala fires that tiger alarm, right? And then when you act anyways, like, hey, you know what? This person is going to be glad I called. And even if they're not, it's going to serve me. Your energy changes, your confidence changes, and people feel that certainty. And certainty attracts. I'll tell you what, in this mortgage thing I'm doing, I tell people it doesn't matter if you join, like it's up to you. I'm not going to try and talk you into it. I'm being I know I'll be successful with this. It's already successful for me. It's great. So it's up to you if you want to learn more about it. I'm happy to help you. I'm happy to share, but no pressure. Changing that language of my certainty, and I'm not trying to force them into anything, is like, oh yeah, I want to hear about it, right? This is what we can do. This is how we can move forward. That's been a super successful thing for me. On listing appointments, walking in worried about whether they're going to like you or not ruins your whole energy. I even tell people in here, you guys have probably heard me say, right before I walk into a listing, I say, I don't care if I get this listing or not. And it's been a trick for me. I didn't know what I was doing, but what I was doing is taking away the pressure, right? Just who cares? It doesn't matter. I'm just going to walk in there and do it. What I like better even now is like, hey, it's going to work for me either way, whether they pick me or not. So instead of I don't care if I get it, more just it's going to work either way. We're going to either work together, it's going to be great, or they're not going to work with me and I'll learn something, it's going to be great. It completely changes your energy because if you're worried about it, like we said, you're going to find all the cues that stress you out. So like when I was reaching out to the big names, I've reached out to the top names in Real Broker and some of the top agents in the country. My 5 times bias brain was telling me like, they're not going to care about you. That like, who are you to even reach out? You have 1,600 followers or 1,800 followers. They have 87,000. They're not going to care. And then I'm like, I don't care. I'm just going to call anyways because it's going to serve me and maybe it'll lead to a great conversation. And 4 of them signed up. 4 of them joined with me. That's 4 more than I would have had if I didn't call, right? So how about this? We're all in real estate. Raise your hand if you've ever had a deal fall apart. Or are they all just perfect? They all just are awesome, right? Everyone's perfect. Have you had when a deal falls apart, someone on the other side just like certain it's going to fall apart and no help at all? Like, well, we're done. This is screwed. We're out. Like, this is just terrible. It's pretty hard to work a deal with them, right? On the flip side, have you ever been, or have you been with someone who won't let it die? Like, no, we're figuring this out. I don't care if I have to drive down and meet the seller and mow their lawn, or the whole deal was going to fall apart because of a microwave and it was a vacant house. And I just decided to go buy a microwave and install it in the house. Cause I'm like, I'm done. I'm done. The seller's ready to kill someone. The buyer's ready to cancel. I'll just go put the friggin' microwave in and be done. So when it's usually Sean, go ahead and share on that. You're the one that says bull crap. I'm not going to do it.
No, I'm the one that says I won't let it fall apart. Like I'm
Oh
like
yeah,
you,
I won't let it fall apart. Yeah, that's
I'll
what I
go
meant.
above and beyond and not let it fall apart because, I'm that way too, just like you. I've done many things like that.
Yeah, you're just like it's gonna
Yep,
happen.
no matter what. Yep.
I can't tell you how many times in my life I'm like, no, we're making this work. I don't know how, but we're making this work. And it's crazy how when you do that, that's very important when you're building a team or starting a business. Like this whole mastermind. Me and Laurie doing this mastermind. You know how many times we're like, we don't know what the hell we're doing, Megan? We don't know what we're doing. We have no idea. The freaking tech won't work. This won't work. I have no idea if anyone will show up. For a lot of the times, no one would show up until it was like 5 minutes late. So I'm just standing there. Me and Laurie just looking at each other like, well, I don't know what the hell's going to happen. And then people show up. So you have to act certain even when you're not certain, right? You got to train your brain that it's going to work out. And people are attracted to that. It's very powerful recruiting tool when you have a big vision. Remember this, your clients and people that you lead will leave you if your vision is smaller than theirs. You need to have a bigger vision. No one's following people who don't care, like, they're living less than I am right now. Anyways, they have a smaller vision. Why would they follow you? It's so true. So this even happens with your family because the same brain that is afraid of a cold call is also afraid of a hard conversation at home. So if you've maybe got an argument or you're afraid to bring up something with your spouse, think about that for a minute. It's going to spike your cortisol and it's going to make you reactive, impatient, closed off. Isn't that interesting? If you think I've told myself a lot of stories that aren't true about like, wait, maybe why I'm not good enough for Natalie or why she might be mad at me. And she might just be having a bad day, but she treats me a little off. And then I'm like, oh, shoot, what did I do? And maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I'm the problem, blah, blah, blah. And go down this thing. I start 5Xing all the problems I have. Turns out it wasn't even that big of a deal. Maybe she's just frustrated. So if I always say, no, our relationship's awesome, everything always works out for us, I'm just going to be open-minded and talk to her and see how she's feeling. That's changed my language with my family and it's changed our life, right? So, uh, so you guys said the action on the saber-tooth tiger, right? You put a bunch of those in there. So I want you to be thinking about that a little bit because I'm gonna ask you something here in just a second. But here's 3 tools I want to give you to help train your brain. And I got these from Rob Dial. The number one is the morning assumption. So before you pick up your phone each morning, say out loud, everything's going to work out for me today. I literally do it every single morning. I don't know about you guys. When I wake up, I normally go over and shut my phone off, and then I pick it up and I check who I do whatever before I get out of bed. Nope, everything's going to work out for me today. And it's deliberately reprogramming my reticular activating system because I have to do it every single day to beat my own brain. Tool number two is the question flip. That's what you mentioned, Sean, earlier, when you were bashed on yourself and you stop and say, no, this is the year of Sean. How I say it is like, what if this does work out though? And I stop and I imagine, okay, what if Eric Hatch says yes? Wow, that could bring 1,000 people in my network. That could be great. I could fly out and speak at one of his events. This could happen. I start thinking of all the positive things. Wow, what if this $3 million listing says yes? What if that leads to multiple $3 million listings? What if I become kind of the man for that area? What if it works out? And I'm constantly doing that pattern disrupt, and we call it the question flip, right? Tool number 3, act before there's evidence. So what's interesting is most people wait for results, then they start believing, and then they act. What I've learned is all the opportunity is when there's not enough information. The early people into the program are the ones that make it work. And why does it work? Because they act, they get involved, then they believe in what they're doing, and they make the results happen. Just like Sean not giving up on the deal, they make it happen. I can't tell you how many times in my life, including when my dad got hurt or my dad was dying, my mom got hurt, rates had jumped from 2% to 7 or 8%, and my income was down 50%. I didn't have a choice. I had to make an extra $12,000 a month to pay for them to go into medical care in rehab, and none of my family could help me, period. So it was like, I don't have a choice. I have to make this work. How can I go create money? So I acted first. Then I worked on believing in myself and what I can do. And I can go out and I reached out to all my clients and I changed my language and I was able to get 27 deals. You guys remember the story? I was able to get 27 deals closed in the next 3 months, made like $300,000. I was able to buy my mom a house, take care of everything. And people go, wow, you're lucky. Wow, you're amazing. Yeah, it's like lucky. I created that. You can literally create your own life with this. So, but if you wait for the proof, you're going to probably only look for the negatives. You have to start changing your brain to the positives. That makes sense. So, I got a little activity. So if you guys want to write this down or type it in, you can do whatever you want. But I want you to write down 3 things. First was that saber-tooth tiger thing you're afraid of right now. So write that one down. Maybe you already did. 2 is the action you've been avoiding. And then 3, what's one bold action if you actually take what's the one action you could take right now that could help you this week? And 4, what if it worked out? What would that look like? Want me to read that? Want me to say that again? So 1 is your saber-tooth tiger for your business. What are you avoiding? 2, what is the bold action that you're that you could take that would make it better? And then what would it actually look like if you won, right? If it worked out, what would it look like? So I guess there was three things. I don't know why I said four. Or Eric, did I miss something? What was the fourth one?
Yeah, there was for the saber-toothed tiger, the action you've been avoiding, one bold action you can take right now to
Oh,
help,
that's right.
and then what if it actually works out?
And then I'm gonna just give you guys like 30 seconds or 60 seconds to write that down. I should play some music, huh? And then just put a one in the chat if you're done or when you get done. Sweet. I'm gonna call on some people who don't want me to call on them. How about Megan? Megan Smith. You wrote something down? She's probably like, you sucker. Did you?
Bold.
Meg, are you there?
Yeah, sorry. I just like had to figure out where to push all my buttons.
Oh yeah, that's fine. Do you mind sharing? Are you afraid? Are you willing to share?
Yeah, no, that's
Good.
great
I
because
actually knew you'd be
the
great. So.
actually talking about it is one of my things.
Okay.
So, my saber-tooth tiger was being a poser. So, just my fear of knowledge, like not being able to answer all the questions, right? So that and then maybe saying something wrong. And so people are like, oh my God, this dumb blonde, she doesn't even know what she's talking about. So, that's my fear.
Okay.
Um, so some ways to get out there and to do my action, that would be like maybe social media, start talking to people more, start reading less slutty books and more like self-help books.
I'm gonna
um,
talk to Matt first. He might not want you to stop reading those books. So
I know, like just like every other, every other day. No.
that's awesome.
So that's maybe some actions that I can take. And then also like get on ChatGPT and edit for Instagram to help me to get a goal plan and get my reels and different social media things set up to start getting it out there because that's a huge discomfort for me. And then some of the things that it could, if it worked, I could help my family with financial opportunities.
You need more vacations, huh?
Yep.
We could go with you. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
love that. And first of all, I want you guys to know Megan has been in real estate for a while. She's flipped several homes with her husband. She has plenty of experience, but a lot of times you just don't believe that you have the experience, right?
Never do I believe, not all, sometimes. Like I
That's
just
going to
never feel
change.
confident.
That's going to change, right?
Yeah.
And guess what? You know how many times me and Sean call each other and like, what would you do in this situation? I have no idea. I've never encountered that. It happens raise your hand if you don't know what the hell you're doing sometimes in real estate, right? Everybody. And you can ask ChatGPT and it'll help you a lot. You can call us, it'll help you a lot. But one of the best things I've learned that's catapulted me forward, and Sean will back me up on this. If you really want to get good at real estate, I challenge you to do a training. I challenge you to teach our mastermind sometime and speak on a topic and learn all about it and present to this mastermind because if nothing teaches me more than teaching other people, right? Think about I had to build this whole training for today off of a podcast I listened to, and hopefully it's been okay. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, but it's really cemented it into my brain because I knew I had to teach it for you guys. That's one of the best things you can do is teach other people. Did anybody else want to share? Thank you, Megan, by the way. That was awesome. I think Emily wants to share. You moved, Emily? So I think you were like, yeah, I don't know. So
I can share. I don't want to share, but that it's one of my fears that need to put
yeah,
myself out there more.
yeah, yeah,
Um, so yeah, one of my fears is exactly that, just talking more and just, when I'm comfortable, you can't get me to shut up, but
yeah.
it's, in certain situations, I don't know, I have that fear of putting myself out there too much.
Not
And
when
then
you're singing.
also, what?
Not when
Oh,
you're singing, because that was awesome.
I
I
have
saw
no
the
idea what you're talking
video. You want
about.
me to pull that up?
I have no idea what you're talking about. But yeah, and then also I think I have a fear of a level of success that I won't be able to maintain
hmm
or handle.
Yep.
Like that it would be too much to handle.
Yep.
That makes sense. So some action things that I've been avoiding is just that, like more social media stuff, putting myself out there, calling more people, just like teaching a training like which I think I'm gonna have to do anyway next month. But
Yeah. This is a perfect
that's good.
opportunity. Maybe you
Yeah,
can
that's
ask
great.
Megan to help you too, you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. So, and then a bold action would just be, doing those things I've been putting off. Like I have a zillion ideas, but then when it comes to executing them, I'm not as good at that. So, and then what it would look like would be just more opportunity. I think by doing those things that I'm putting off, I just have more opportunity and more, you know, options in life.
I love it. I love it. I almost included one slide that I was going to show to you guys that it shows like your comfort zone and then it shows um, like where you're stretching yourself and then pure panic. And the goal isn't to put you in pure panic all the time because that's almost too strong of an emotion to get over. And it's getting more and more of the uncomfortable, like, okay, I don't have to nail this, but I'm just going to make the phone call. Okay, I don't have to do great at this training because the panic is where your brain just completely shuts down and you've got to go back all the way to the beginning. So
Yeah.
it's like, no, how do I just stretch myself? The next step is just to freaking make the phone call. I'm going to bomb this thing. Who gives a crap? I don't care. I'm making the phone call. And then it ends up going better. And then you go, oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought.
Yeah, and it never is as bad as
Never.
you think it is in your head. And the more you put it off, and I have these conversations with my kids too, but then I still find myself doing them,
Yep. Yep.
So
It's that action.
yeah,
Just don't make it perfect action. Who
yeah,
cares?
yeah,
Imperfect action is what you need to. And there's a saying that says perfect makes you poor. Good enough makes you rich. And it is so true. If
yeah,
it's
I
good
believe
enough,
that.
just send it out and then change it. Okay, you know what? You know what things we've had wrong with our mastermind? People are like, hey, we were doing remember when we were doing masterminds at an RV center
Yeah,
with poor lighting and stuff, and the TV wouldn't work. Like it's never been perfect, but it's been growing and it's been a benefit. So I love that. Sweet. Anybody else want to share before I go into the next thing? Cool. So let's jump in and recap here. So we started by understanding that our brain is not the enemy. It's just an ancient survival system that basically is doing its job for, a time that it doesn't make sense anymore, right? And if you can start focusing on shifting and changing your brain to good outcomes, and what if it actually works out, your life will start changing. Your reticular activating system starts finding opportunities, the people, the momentum, everything you need in your life, right? And this has worked for me for the last few weeks. I can't believe how much it's worked. I literally was like losing my mind over it, texting Sean. And I know it's a simple concept, but it took me 5 years to get 200 people to Real. It's taken me 3 weeks to get 60 people to One Real Mortgage. It's insane how quick that my mindset changed. And now I'm attracting people for both. I have a brokerage joining for One Real Mortgage and the real estate side, bring on a whole group of people in 2 states just from reaching out, not being afraid, talking to people. And the one thing I want to do is I want to invite you guys to go listen to the episodes. Would you guys want to listen to the episodes? Because I can post them in the chat and or you know what's probably better? I'll just post them in GroupMe and in school. I'll post those links so you can check them out. They're super good. They're only 15 to 20 minutes. But now we're gonna do some hippie stuff. I want you guys, everyone, to close your eyes just for a minute. Just be present. Just close your eyes. And I'm going to ask you a few questions. So I want you to picture yourself 6 months from now. It's fall time. You've been operating with the assumption that everything works out. Everything you've tried for actually worked out. Ask yourself, what are you building? Who are you calling? What risks did you take that paid off? How does your business feel? How does your bank account feel? How proud of yourself are you? How does your family feel? You can open your eyes anytime you want. I hope that was helpful. And if you guys don't mind, we're going to wrap up, but if you wouldn't mind writing down your biggest takeaway, maybe we could have a couple shares before we go. That would be helpful. Raise your hand if this was helpful, by the way. Good. I'm glad. Because that was what I said to Natalie this morning. I don't know if I'll do good or not, but it's going to work out for me no matter what. And as long as I can help one person today, that's all I care about. And that's just me getting over my stuff, right? Megan says, don't trust my doubt. It's the there. Don't trust my doubt. I don't know if I know what you're saying. Don't trust your doubt. It's the thief. Okay, yeah, it's the thief. I was like, it's the there. Now I'm confused. It's the thief. It is. Your doubt will steal from you. Just do it. Get out of your own way and ask yourself, what if it works? Yeah, what if it works? What if it works out? What if everything really does just work out? I love it. Cool. Stop having the fear of rejection. Go in there with the mindset that it's not about me. I love it. I will take bold action daily and stop overthinking. Perfect. Imperfection action is better than no action. Yep. Perfect makes you poor. Play is the way. Play is the way. That's what I'm talking about. Love it. Okay. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you so much for being here. And I will put those posts in GroupMe and in school, and then go take a listen to those podcasts. Okay. Thank you guys. Have an awesome day.
Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it.
Yep. Okay. We'll see you.
Thanks, Louis. Appreciate you.
Yep. Thank you. And I'm glad you needed that, Emily. It's awesome. We'll see you.